Welcome to this InvestGlass presentation about digital onboarding. I'm Alexander, the CEO of InvestGlass, and during this presentation about digital onboarding, we'll show you how to onboard prospects, how to proceed with KYC remediation, but also how to offboard your customers. InvestGlass is a sales automation platform. It's the #1 Swiss solution, so there's no US footprint. It can be used on your server or it can be used on Swiss servers. InvestGlass is a Swiss company. It's a family-owned business which offers all the tools you need for automations. We serve currently over 120 customers in different countries and geographics, of course in finance and insurance, but not only, also with governments, clubs, associations, and companies of all sizes. Again, why people come to us? Because they're looking for a Swiss sovereign solution with residency in Switzerland or in your country, on the cloud, on premise, and of course, if you prefer, on your private cloud. We automate the whole process from prospection to distribution. And for that, we have 8 core products. Today, we're going to look particularly into the onboarding, but you can see here, it's not only onboarding, it's also CRM, automation, approval process, client portal, reporting, marketing, portfolio management system, and incident management. Today, we're going to talk about digital onboarding and take a bit of time to see what we can offer you. So when we are building onboarding for your company, the first thing we're going to ask you is what type of experiences you're looking to offer to your customers. Are your customers self-onboarded? Are your relationship manager pushing forms to your customers? Is it an hybrid solution? Perhaps your relationship manager are first preparing, collecting the data, and then asking your prospects to fill in the forms. So first, we're going to analyze how you do it. Of course, as you can see, we can implement also different look and feel with your own color branding, your own layouts, your own styles. Then we're going to look with you on the onboarding process. This is I would say, casual, frequent way of onboarding a customer like you. We collect requirements on week 0. Configuration, usually it's anywhere between 1 to 4 weeks. Of course, it can be also installed on your own server of Azure or AWS, Dassault System, OVH, Swisscom, you name it. We test it, we do a go live, improvements, reporting, improvements again, and then we check the effects on the reporting tool. The next question we're going to ask you is which part of this onboarding process you wish to automate. Here, I'm not yet talking about AI, I'm just talking about automation. This means once you are having an onboarding form that has been filled in with different information, which automation you're expecting the machine to do, which is the opposite from which automation the human will do. Well, here it's only about automation from the machine. You see, here after selecting a form, I'm going to filter this form, find an information concerning the PEP and maybe also the origin of country of this prospect. And only based on this rule-based engine, I'm going then to trigger an automation. For instance, here, I'm going to send a message to a designated person. It could be the owner, it could be the compliance officer, it can even be the contact itself that is going to receive additional questions to be answered. This is different from the approval process, which also can be automated, but which requires a vote casting. Your colleagues will be invited to approve or reject an account opening. Your colleagues will be invited to accept special conditions like tariff conditions, or maybe there's a specific risk and you need to cast this vote. Instead of sending emails, you can use this approval process in series and in parallel to approve sophisticated process for account opening, but also, of course, for KYC processes and offboarding. Then we're going to use AI artificial intelligence to convert existing forms into contact fields and then into JSON payload. This is extremely powerful because we can convert very quickly now existing semantic from your PDF, set up your CRM, creating the fields, and then having those fields turn into digital forms. Of course, if you have multiple forms, it will even be more relevant because here the question will be how can you merge all those fields into one dictionary of fields. This is super relevant if you have multiple forms. It's super relevant if you're a broker, an insurance broker, but it's also super relevant if you have forms in multiple languages. Forms in German and in English and French, you want to merge the fields all together. Maybe Chinese and English, you want to merge all together. With this system and the AI tool of InvestGlass, you will save hours, it's not even days of work, leveraging this AI converter from a PDF into custom fields. Then what do we have behind? Behind, we have a no-code building system where you'll be able to collect the information in those beautiful forms. It's absolutely no code, and you can make it look as good as you want, either because you have your own look and feel, we call this CSS, or you can use InvestGlass basic look and feel and change the colors. Now, if you wish to keep the format of your forms, it's also possible to extrude those information and bring it back into the pro forma documents. Very important if you're doing account opening in insurance, but also if you have to fill in W8, W9 forms. If you're filling multiple forms, sometimes you're repeating the questions. For that reason, we have built what we call packages. The package aims to facilitate the data collection for multiple forms. So instead of having to input multiple times the same answer, if you fill in one form, these answers, if they are already saved and submit, will be used again into other forms. This system works as well for civil law, common law, or religious law, where based on the answer, InvestGlass will help you to push to your prospects and customers subsequent forms and packages. It's very handy for common law and civil law. Again, you select based on specific answers which packages you will load to which segment group of prospects and customers. All the documents are then stored inside InvestGlass depository system. It's what we call document management. And there you will be able to automatically bring those documents into folders, subfolders. If you're using InvestGlass portal or if you're using InvestGlass iOS Android app on the mobile phone, you'll also have the option, as you can see on the bottom right, to select which type of file formats you accept. Now, everything is audited. So all the information are collected into an audit trail that you can see in the large screen behind. And for customers that are looking to onboard their customers from email invitation, we can use InvestGlass email system and select which forms you want to share. Now, this will generate a form link, which is going to be protected with a two-factor of authentication. So it's like an OTP, like this PIN you receive for your Visa confirmation or your current e-banking. But you can also add a challenge question that will be specific to each customer, so that only this prospect or this customer will be enabled to have access to this form. And of course, this is very important because in those forms, you can pre-populate the forms with answers. So you want to make sure it's the right people opening their forms, right? You can also use InvestGlass QR code. So this is an app scanning QR code. There's a process of first authentication, and then you have access to the form. Once the form has been fulfilled, completed, you can also implement a second 2FA validation after the form submits. All the information are collected. Next step is to bring those information to third-party vendors for different types of checks. KYT, KYC, KYB. We work with a dozen providers, and of course, if you have your own provider, we are more than happy to connect InvestGlass API directly to your favorite provider. The feed will then be collected inside InvestGlass, and then you will start your KYC process to make sure that you can accept or reject this prospect. InvestGlass works also for multiple for relations, so it's like companies, trust, or families, where you have multiple UBOs, LPOAs. So UBOs, LPOAs. UBOs is unique beneficial owner, LPOA is limited power of attorney. Each contact in this relation will have a different role and will have a different authorization, maybe to view a portal, an account or a portfolio, to sign this portfolio. So here you'll be able to define all those elements, and this will be key later on once you are using InvestGlass digital signature system, right? Because you'll have multiple parties, signatories into the same package. And with this system of package, you'll be able, of course, to have multiple people signing, but it's important that from the beginning, you take this into consideration. This means that the 2FA later on will be signed based on this mobile phone number that you designated and this email that you designated to be used for this 2FA challenge. As you'll see on the right, it's also possible when you're doing multi-party onboarding to show only specific fields to specific parties. And this is very important because for insurance, for example, or when you have large family, you don't want the signature pad's output to be visible to everyone. You don't want any information, any key elements maybe to be seen by anyone in the group signing this document. So here you can decide based on the individual role which child field will be made visible. Once this is ready, now you can sign the document. The signature pad will then record a stamp, and this stamp will be added on the PDF that you sign. And then an audit track with an ID, an IP address check, a timestamp, a 2FA, a mobile number, an address, and a name will be stored in the PDF generated as well as in the audit trail of InvestGlass. Once this is done, usually we start dispatching the roles of different tasks that we have to do. First, maybe there could be some incoherent answers, insufficient answers, or just misleading answers sometimes. For that, we have on the left a tool that we call a capacity distribution automation. This tool will facilitate the generation and the distribution of tasks based on information that you want to check. The machine will look into the capacity availability of each individuals. Will look if your colleagues, those individuals, are able to take new tasks. Of course, we connect this to your Active Directory, Microsoft Active Directory, Oracle, SAP Active Directory, or your own Active Directory, because we're not going to create a task for someone that is not in the office, of course, or is unavailable. And then automatically the task will be addressed to this individual. To the right, what you see, it's InvestGlass booking system. InvestGlass has the same fancy self-booking scheduling system that you know from the leaders on the market, which will facilitate to book a meeting with either those prospects from whom you need to collect some information or customers. And this is very nice because those booking apps are connected directly to your existing calendar. There's a synchronization, which means that your customers can pick up whenever best convenient time slot for them, and in the same time, it will be a time slot where you're available. The next step is the approval process. InvestGlass offers a powerful and customizable approval process sequencing system. Here I have on the left, as you can see, Apex, which is an account. And below I have multiple beneficial owners. I can then split those process into two steps. Step one with a group that will be looking into the KYC, and another group specific to W8 ban. Once this is approved, and this can be approved in parallel, the sequence number 2, the step number 2, will be triggered. This is an extremely powerful tool, which of course requires a little bit of setup because you need to set which member are part of which group of approvers. But once you have this, you'll have a very, I would say, qualitative, compliant tool to track the approval process of your account opening. All those tools bring together are also used for KYC remediations and offboarding. Here, the objective is to update specific information. KYC remediation are usually done in 3 types of events. First, subscription to a new service. So when you trigger an automation, then you're going to trigger a data collection, which could require another KYC remediation. Then it can be linked to annual remediation. So once every 5 years, once every 10 years, you need to fill in some specific information. But it can also be linked to an incident. It can be an expiration of an ID card. It can be linked to a flag into the AML CFTC, or a flag as one of your customers it turned out to be now a PEP, a politically exposed person. Using InvestGlass automation and sequence will help you to escalate to different means of communication and collection, documents or information that are missing into your KYC. As you will appreciate, you have different steps until you go to the offboarding of this prospect or this customer. All those information are then collected into reporting, so you can visualize which approval process are efficient, or fast, or slow, which approval process needed some reopening, reassignments, so they could be inefficient potentially. This reporting is updated live, so very quickly you can see where your processes are not as optimal as they should be. Like this, you will be able to split into what needs to be automated with rule-based engine or with AI, and which part has to be manual, human. Now, what we have seen, of course, in the latest trend is that putting everything automatic might not be always the right solution. And AI, of course, helps a lot, saves a lot of time, but sometimes it's great to speak also to human. So I encourage you to have a try in different approaches, full automatic, full manual, I'm sure you already have it, but also try hybrid, which is mixing automation, rule-based engine, AI, but also human. Thank you very much for watching this InvestGlass digital onboarding video. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, if you want to have a try to InvestGlass demo right now, visit investglass.com. Just click on try now and we'll give you a full access to InvestGlass. Thank you for watching.